Hi. Hello everyone in the audience and everyone watching online, and welcome to the VR Game Spotlight. One of the most unique things about our industry is the way that we reveal and showcase our games. Developers and studios from all around the world get together to showcase their games together. And there's been something missing in VR, and I think it's this kind of showcase. So today we're here to reveal brand new VR games to you, show new updates for some games you're already aware of and anticipating. We've had a good few years recently with VR, the introduction of proper standalone VR with PC quality experiences, new PC VR headsets that continue to innovate in the space, and of course very soon the next generation of game console VR. So to celebrate all that is upcoming in our industry, first I'd like to present the reveal trailer for a brand new sequel to a classic VR horror game. Watch this.
VR Game Spotlight Premiere.
That's right. Just a year after the launch of the Affected the Manor Complete Edition on VR systems, and a whopping 5 years after the Gear VR original, Fallen Planet Studios have come back to release a follow-up, Affected the Asylum, coming next year. So now let's keep it swiftly moving onto a game that's less scary but equally thrilling. VAIL is a game that is set to revolutionize VR esports. It's had a very successful open beta recently. We're looking forward to its full launch. Here is the latest trailer.
grab the scanner and we'll go to A. A1.
Yep. Wait for my smoke on main.
Pushing in now.
Nading through.
Taking a little bit of cover. I hear them inside.
One down here. I'm smoking main. We can go in.
Flashing comms.
Someone pyramid. Someone's killed me main.
Firing the smoke. One in the smoke.
Got one on site. One on site.
Wait. Echo 4.
Got another one on site.
Echo 3.
Got another one.
Echo 2. Echo 1. 1v1. Oh, well played.
Oh, man.
Scan complete. Round loss.
Thank you. We're very excited about the full launch of VAIL coming soon. Now, to keep us moving on, those of you who know me personally or maybe follow me on Twitter may know that I'm a huge fan of a certain tactical espionage action video game series. And I think a lot of us have always wanted that kind of genre in VR, especially because I think a lot of us played VR missions. And we got a glimpse of that when Digital Load and Tripwire Interactive launched Espire 1 a couple of years ago for all major VR platforms. Now, here on stage to give us a brand new look at a level from the sequel Espire 2, I'd like to welcome to the stage Brian Etheridge from Tripwire Interactive.
Hey. Any spot
Take it away.
All right. Hey, I'm Brian Etheridge. I'm the publishing director at Tripwire Presents, which is the publishing division of Tripwire Interactive. And like we were just hearing, if you've played Espire 1 is a tactical espionage stealth shooter, all wholly done in VR, developed in VR, and especially on the Quest headset from the start. And we're now working with Digital Load to bring Espire 2. And we're going to show you some awesome footage from that game, to show you some of the new features. So thanks. We'll go ahead and roll it.
I'm not seeing anything. Wait, Poe, can you hear us? It's Colonel Sandra Pyre.
Connections active. Poe, we've got you. Eyes, run a movement test.
Initiating Espire kinematics system. Use your left thumbstick to pilot the Espire unit.
Seems normal, Colonel Pyre.
Then keep investigating the hitch. Any anomaly could slow us down. Poe, it's good to have you back. Access the security system up ahead, near the blast windows.
One of the things that we really value in Espire is this idea of having a VR sandbox. So you can see here, this footage obviously is pre-recorded, so I could talk a little bit. They're showing off some of the interaction that can happen throughout the entire sandbox type level. So when you're playing a mission, almost all of the objects can be picked up, interacted with, used, have physics on them. And a lot of that is built in there just to allow you to have a lot of fun in the level, to try new things, to try different approaches as you're going through, and to see kind of like, okay, this time if I want to approach the level as like a full run and gun, then you could do that, but next time maybe you want to go through and do a completely pacifist run. We support that in every single level. So another thing here, a little fun here from our folks at Digital Load. One of the things that is kind of paramount to the Espire experience is this idea of playing with the VR as a frame. So you play as the Espire unit. Well, when developing Espire 2,
systems.
one of the things that we wanted to innovate on was, well, what other types of interactions could you have? And so we developed a second Espire frame, hence the name Espire 2. In this footage, we're playing exclusively as Cinder, which is our sort of core, Espire frame.
Nice one, eyes.
And when you play as Cinder, you have the option to go either full run and gun, or you can try and play stealth. We also introduced a new frame called Sooty. And Sooty is about half the size of Cinder. And the game will actually use IPD or interpupillary distance to actually scale up the surroundings around you. So in this case, if you're playing as Sooty, this entire environment would be almost twice the size, but you would still be able to move and walk around just as if you were yourself.
Now you're putting me to sleep.
So you might be getting some introduction to some of the story in Espire 2 here. When we did Espire 1, I won't give any spoilers, but we have Poe coming back, and as Poe's coming back, you're going through this training mission. You're experiencing some, let's just say, distortions of reality that introduce the game mechanics to you. So in this situation, you're learning how to use your dart shooter, which is a device that allows you to take out enemies silently. We also have the sort of energy meter that you have to replenish that allows you to repair yourself on the go. So the tool he's using right here is our repair tool. It has a lot of different functions throughout the game. In addition to repairing yourself, you can use it to disarm traps. You can use it to take out enemies, almost like a stun gun, and some other functions too, like unlocking weapons that have sort of bio locks on them. So we'll get to see that a little bit later in the footage. Like I said, a lot of fun with physics and sandboxy, even when the physics are sort of fun and silly. So this is a cradle. So in the game, when you reach cradle, which also serves as a checkpoint, you can choose to switch out your Espire frames. So here we're going to stick with Cinder so we can show a little bit more of the run and gun gameplay. Some of the things that some of the folks that didn't play Espire 1 might not be quite so familiar with. But when you reach one of those points, you can actively switch between your different Espire frames.
Roger that.
As most people probably know, climbing in VR can be a lot of fun. We have a ton of climbing throughout all the levels that you can use to get up and get different height advantages.
Next to your head to enable it.
Right here, Poe is using the Espire Vision, and Espire Vision sort of serves a couple of different purposes. One, it almost acts as night vision, or thermal vision, I guess, so that you can see enemies in the dark, but it also allows you to tag them. So you can see he's focused his point of view on the enemies, and that allows him to sort of track where they're at any given time. So again, stealth is sort of paramount until you decide to sort of go hot or go guns blazing. So that's what he's doing here, is he's trying to sneak around this area.
Command, the break will be back online in a few moments. Understood. Get back to patrol.
What have we got in here?
So one of the cool things that happens too is when you use the sort of the time dilation feature, when you do that, physics can be amplified too. So in some certain later levels, you'll actually see people using that, and some of our QA members, to their advantage to help them get speed runs through the level. One of the things that we found in Espire 1 was that people really enjoyed the sort of challenges and trying to get the fastest time through a level, trying to do it either 100% stealth or 100% kills, whatever they preferred. And one of the things that we really tried to amp up is that ability to use the time dilation to their benefit. And so you'll see different uses of that throughout. So in this case here, he's tracking the one guard that's remaining, and we'll see how he takes him out. Another thing that you're not seeing in this footage here is something that was developed by DigitalOcean, specifically for the Espire series, which is called the Comfort Theater. So we know that a lot of people really want to have that sort of smooth motion VR experience and do not want to have the sort of like quick turns that a lot of VR games utilize to reduce motion sickness. So the team has developed something called Comfort Theater that was released in Espire 1 that you're actually not seeing here, but it would put a frame around the outside of your image. And through all of our testing of both Espire 1 and Espire 2, when you're using that and set that to your preferred comfort level, people are not experiencing motion sickness. Obviously, everyone's mileage may vary, but that's a really important thing for the team at Digital Load to try and develop, is to allow as much smooth motion as possible.
Get behind them.
Here we're going to see a really cool new feature here.
Put your hands off out loud.
Deployed in Spain.
Be gentle.
So the team at Digital Load has been working directly with Meta to develop some voice recognition technology that allows you to issue voice commands to the guards. And this is greatly expanded to be like pretty deep and in depth. You could tell them to do specific things. We also have disability function too. So if you cannot speak into the microphone or you have difficulty, you can actually input it with menu commands. So that's a fantastic way for anyone to be able to interact with it. In this case, you can see that he's told him to put up, drop his weapon so that he is able to take it and steal it from him. Again, we're in another one of these sort of distorted reality sections that allows us to sort of showcase some of the features of the game in this tutorial section. Each arm on the Espire unit has a camera, and so that's how he's able to aim. So in kind of a cool way that you can use that is, if you do not want to approach enemies directly, you can use that camera to aim around corners, aim your gun around corners, and be able to shoot them that way.
Another blackout. Poe, try to keep it together.
If you open a backup cradle, you'll find ammunition and weaponry. Addictor Special.
All right, so now we're getting to sort of the better hardware here.
Losing your unit.
A weapon that's a little more capable than ones that you would steal off of enemies. Another one of the sort of main bits of feedback that we got on Espire 1 that we wanted to address was a lot of fans felt that the run and gun approach was almost too much, the option that presented itself too much. So we wanted to try to see if we could not prevent run and gun gameplay, make it a little more challenging, and also offer those players who really prize that sort of stealth experience new opportunities and new ways to do that. So you'll notice there was that yellow orb on the gun. That's because that weapon is bio-locked. So if you pick up an enemy weapon off of a guard, not one from a cradle that's meant for you, that weapon will be bio-locked until you use your repair tool to hack it. So you can do that on the fly, but it's also a lot more risky than just going ahead and utilizing one of your own weapons, or maybe taking a totally different stealth approach. So here we have this mission where you're attempting to prevent the launch of this missile. You can see here he's throwing that to distract the guards so we can get into a better position to be able to take these guys on. Because with 5 or 6 different guards, that's really going to be a challenge, right? Some more battery power, some more ammo, reload, get ready to take them on. So now we'll use Espire Vision to make sure we mark so we know where these enemies are at all times. And let's just take them out. Sometimes the direct approach is the best approach. Obviously, guards will react to finding bodies, so you want to make sure that you stuff them inside of a locker or crate or any sort of shadowy dark corner that you can find. This is actually my preferred weapon, so the silenced pistol. I do love going in with 2 of them at the same time.
Camera feed disconnected. Hostile inbound.
So guards will know when you take out cameras, obviously, so even if they don't know your location, they will send in backup units to investigate the situation.
Roger that. All CCTV will be checked next rotation.
All right, so at this point, they're convinced that there's nothing here. So Now we can go a little more direct. So again, you can utilize that sort of time dilation to be able to get off the perfect shot, which is another thing that we found that people really like, to be able to sort of maximize their runs or get the most efficient run possible. Another thing is, so you can utilize, like I was mentioning, utilize those cameras to take shots around corners if you don't have a great line of sight. And in this case here, Michael, who is the founder of DigitalLoad, I think he's just trying to make himself not look quite so good. So again, the holographic sights, you can use those to line up your shot perfectly. There'll also be canted sights on some of the weapons that you can utilize in case you don't like the holographic sights. Weapon reloading works, just like it would almost on a real gun, where you're ejecting the magazine, putting the new magazine in, and racking the slide. We also have options that you can enable to make that an easier experience if you're not really into the sort of simulation and the time pressure that it can put on you. But if you do like it, it's there. So we now have a couple of guards coming down.
Hostiles on the elevator. Hide.
Let's make sure we hide that body so that they don't know where I'm at. We don't have time to stuff them in a locker, so just go ahead and drop in a dark corner. We'll make sure we tag them so we know where they're at all times. Easy peasy, right? Taking the direct route. So one of the things that you'll experience a lot more if you take the other route or you use the Sooty character is you have access to a totally different ability set that actually encourages you to play a little more stealthily. Also, another reason that we're calling it Espire 2 is because we do have a full co-op mode, full co-op campaign. So if you enjoy Espire 1 and you think, hey, this would be a ton of fun to run through these kind of missions with your friend, with someone coordinating, one of you throwing, maybe one person distracting, the other one using the big guns to take people out as you go along, then that's fantastic. We have a full campaign that's set up to do to be played in co-op. So that's something that we're bringing to Espire 2 that we're really excited about. Is a huge, totally different feature that we did not have in Espire 1.
You are the Espire operative.
Cool.
That's never happened.
Dector. Must be a power outage.
So we'll just get some last minute climbing here, but
Espire operative. Mission progress saved.
so in this mission, we want to see if you can make it all the way to the end to stop that missile from launching and save the world from Ophis. So thank you very, very much for having me. Thank you for checking out Espire 2. Really appreciate it. And check it out. You can check it out on Oculus Quest. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brian, for showing us that amazing demo. I'm sure for many of you stealth action game fans, you recognize some amazing homages, particularly at the end there in the elevator with the logo opening out onto a beautiful snowy environment. So thank you so much to Brian and the entire teams at Tripwire Interactive and DigitalLoad for bringing Espire 2 to us today. But now we're going to pick up the pace a little bit and check out a bunch of VR games and content updates from a wide range of VR developers, big, small, and even a couple of solo studios. So please watch the following videos.
Time to shine the spotlight on exciting new titles from small teams and solo developers.
When we first discovered that our child was on the autism spectrum, we were, of course, concerned, but we quickly discovered that he had a hidden talent. It was almost like there was a different way that he was seeing and processing the world. Hi, I'm Thomas Kildren, and I'm making a VR game based on the drawings of my son. It's about a child who's lost and is on an epic adventure to find his way home. I wanted to make something without any fighting, and more focused on exploration, solving problems, making friends, and finding out that the world is full of very different people. I want part of the proceeds to go to autism awareness and acceptance. If the game does well, I'd like to develop a companion app so a child could play their own drawings in-game. And as I've been working on this, momentum's been growing. I've demoed Booper at game dev expos, I've written magazine articles, I've been interviewed on podcasts, and I've even been a chapter in a book and featured on the TV news. I've enjoyed this character so much, I'm also making a mobile game based on him too. And this is where you come in. I'm ready to make the jump from a hobbyist to full-time. I'm looking to start building a studio. I want to hire locally and work with some of the raw talent here in the Cleveland area. And as I'm working on this, I'm hoping you'll join us on this journey and help me help Booper get home.
You can live the dream of owning your own arcade in Arcade Legend.
And welcome to your new arcade. Well, it's not new, but it's yours now. This place has seen better days. Before we can open for business, you're gonna need to tidy up. Okay, let's decorate this place. There's more to this old place than meets the eye. Keep this up and you'll have a thriving arcade in no time.
Test your brain and stimulate your senses in Squingle. Fight for survival in a sequel to a VR classic.
Beyond the trees where nobody sees, my cabin there stands alone. Respite for some, but dangerous for one. My zombies begin to moan. As eating you, despite what you do, will make them strong and hidden for long. Today's the day my minions have their breakfast.
Take a break. Relax. In the Exemplum Program.
Hey! I'm the ghost of VR past! Joking. You seem tense. I think I know what you need.
Escape an evil empire with a powerful little friend in Ziggy's Cosmic Adventures.
Hi, I am Alex from Stardust Collective, and today I want to walk you through some of the levels in our upcoming game, Ziggy's Cosmic Adventures. So let's pet Ziggy before we start going and set off on our adventure. Now, in each of these levels, you're flying through hazardous space environments, and you're trying to get to this warp station out in the distance. Now this warp station will then transport you to the next level, where again you're going to want to be heading towards these warp stations. Each of these levels are handcrafted to deliver different experiences, focusing on different elements of the game. There are two main parts of the game. The first part is obviously the flying through space, where you've got to dodge out of the way of any hazardous environments while also shooting down any enemy foes. If I can get these guys before they fly away from me. Oh, okay, there we go, managed to get one of them at least, but did leave quite a few there that was going to go away. At the same time as that, of course, you've got to be managing your spaceship. Let me just fly a bit in this direction, there we go. So at the same time you've got to manage your spaceship. That's making sure, for example, that your life support here is powered up, which, you know, needing oxygen, I think that's one of the things that generally people need. You've also got to make sure your ship isn't too hot. It also equally isn't too cold. So let's just try to put that in the middle there. That's going to be a lot better. And there's all of these sort of systems you've got to manage at the same time as flying through space. Now this is just a quick taste of level 1. I've done a previous video showing all of level 1 previously. So let's move on to some of the new levels that we'll be showing off today. And here we are in the new level for us to explore. So let's start flying our ship out of here. And wait a sec, we don't appear to be moving. In this level our engines are broken down, so our first task is going to be helping the ship to repair them. The engines need to vent their heat, so let's cool down the ship to allow them to do that. And there we go, we're just going to put it back to neutral. And now we are moving, but we don't have much control over our ship still. We can at least now turn, but we can't actually control where we're going. We're just drifting, rising through space here. And now there are enemies coming towards us. We're sort of a sitting duck while these enemies can start to swarm us. Didn't manage to get all of them, and now there are more. We are slowly heading towards the warp station off there that we need to get to, but there's quite a way we need to go still. So let's try to get these guys. Can I get one? Can I get the other one before it starts to fly away? And, oh, that was close there. That was close there. Now, oh, here we got some more. So you've got to, obviously at the same time as shooting down enemy ships, manage the internal ship, because you're bound to be taking damage as these enemies are shooting you. So let's turn on our shields quickly. Here's our shields, and this, which will help us. Turning on these shields will definitely help us to alleviate some of the damage we're taking, but that will use up some batteries, so we're going to have to be careful as to not using these shields too much. Let's turn them off to shave some energy off, but our battery is pretty empty now, so that's going to make our journey a bit more difficult. There are certain things you can do out here to also further your odds. For example, this little ship here is transporting gas, so if you manage to shoot that, that's going to be a big explosion, which will definitely help us when trying to take down these enemy foes. Let's see if we can see where the next ships are going to be coming from. Are they this way? Oh, no, they're over here. So this level is definitely more of a shooting gallery-esque level, but of course, as previously mentioned, you're going to have to be managing the internal ship at the same time as managing the external ship in terms of shooting down these enemy foes. My shields are now empty. I probably want to go back and get some more shield energy, but I think right now we'll want to move on and explore the next level. And here we are at this new level. We're currently looking at this planet, which has been, as you can see, a bit damaged with quite a big gaping hole in the middle. At this moment, we're also being chased by our enemies, and so we don't have too many options in terms of where we have to run. Going around this planet would take far too long, and also would be quite easy for our chasers to find us. Going into the planet, however, might just give us a chance to shake off the foes that are chasing us through the galaxy, and so we decide to go for it, racing past that warp station and now racing into the heart of the planet, and here we are. The previous level definitely focused a lot less on the navigation, focusing more obviously on the arcade combat and the internal management from all the damage you'd be taking. This level, however, is definitely a lot more on that flight navigation. As you can see, you're inside these enclosed environments. Additionally, you are wanting to go through these environments at quite speed. This is going to lead to tricky turns, trying to dodge out of the way of all of these walls, which you definitely don't want to be hitting. You also have sometimes choice as to which way we should go, and I think I'll go down this way. Yeah, here we go, that should be good. And there are still some enemy hazards though for you to deal with, such as that little turret there. We may see another one up ahead soon. So there's still a bit of everything you're going to have to deal with. Obviously, you also always have to be dealing with the internal ship systems, but navigation is definitely clearly the focus here. Here we have some lava puddles and also some lava tubes, which again, I think we're going to be wanting to dodge out of the way of. There's also the mining equipment left over that was causing these mining puddles, and again, I don't think we want to be crashing into those either. Let's sneak our way past this and over that. That should be good, and around this incredibly tight corner here. And, okay, didn't quite miss that. Bumped off of there, but now we should be heading on our way. There's also some gates here where we can choose which way we want to go, and I think I'll take the lower route just about. Now, I don't want to spoil too much of what is going to be coming up in this level, because I think this one will end up being a clear favourite by the end. But I think this does give a little taste of what we're planning, and we really hope that you enjoy it when it comes out early next year. You can wishlist us on Steam or follow us on our socials. We hope you enjoyed this little sneak preview of some of these levels. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much to all the developers involved there. Now, today is not just the first VR game spotlight. Today is also the launch day of a brand new, exciting VR game straight from Japan. Now, I'd like to welcome two new people to the stage who have flown down straight from Tokyo Game Show to give you guys a brand new look at Dyschronia, Chronos Alternate, Episode 1, which launches today. So I'd like to welcome to the stage, if they're ready, Alberto Moreno first, and Takumi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Alberto. Hi, Takumi. We're first going to show a trailer for the game, and then we're going to get into some live gameplay. Hand over to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin.
So let me talk here about Dyschronia. Dyschronia is a VR sci-fi adventure from the Japanese studio My Dearest. And here I want to show you just a little bit thing that's called augmented dreaming. In this scenario, everybody in the city, Austrian closed city, is sharing the same dream thanks to the nanocollective Kairos. No crime is possible, everybody's chilling out, and actually all these visuals are based on the Komloi, I think I said that properly, Komloi Festival in Thailand, and we brought developers from AAA studios, Japanese studios, like, I'm not gonna say the name, but you know, if you can think about them, they are here. We wanted to create like a dreaming scenario where everybody was chilling, having a really natural flow with the physics. Yeah, the VAIL works collider to create a better flow, a better movement. And you can see around 3,000 different shading elements at the same time. We could even recreate 5,000 elements with the latest shading techniques on the Meta Quest 2, but it got a little bit messy. So in the final version, they are around 2,000, 3,000. This is part of Dyschronia, the adventure, where a murder has happened. In a city with no crime, where no crime is possible, the founder of the city has been dead. And that's your duty as a supervisor in the city to find the murderer. We wanted this time to create a more interactive story. Last time, in our previous games, they were based on the story, but they were more about the dialogue, not so much about the interaction. But this time, we wanted to create a movie that you feel you are inside, that you can interact with the characters, that you're gonna love, you're gonna hate, with different kind of moments where you're gonna feel sadness, you're gonna feel anger, you're gonna feel happiness, and many surprises. It's not only about talking with people. You also are gonna have some sections like stealth. You're gonna have puzzles. You're gonna have trials against AI in a VR world. What we wanted to create is full, complete story. Because when you watch a movie, when you read a book, it's not only about one thing. It's not only about shooting. It's not only about driving. It's about several ingredients making the perfect combination. So we brought all those ingredients, the graphics, the characters, the story, the world setting. And we also brought the cooks, the developers, graphic designers, scenario writers from several studios. What began with just a small project for half a year with only 27 people, right now it became a really long project with 60 developers, including the marketing team, and a really long story. We're talking about episode 1 from 7 to 10 hours of gameplay. Because this is a 3-act story. Episode 1, where you have the introduction to the world, where something happened. But after that, you have much, much more. Dyschronia, coming out to MetaQuest 2 from today. By the way, thank you very much.
Thank you ever so much to Takumi and Alberto for that. Now we are going to swiftly move on with a few more smaller games and smaller headlines, sort of like we had just a moment ago. So we'll pick up the pace a little bit, check out some more VR games. Please watch the following video.
Check out the latest update for Color Connect. Relive your playground days in ForeVR Cornhole. Fly through space on, wait, 2 dragons?
We control the galaxy. All galactic megafauna have been contained. SpaceDragon, do not attempt escape. Defiance will be punished.
Become a spirit to save reality in Vault of Stars.
Wake, child. You are the last star. Only you can resist the void. Only you can renew the light. Only you can restore the balance. There is a darkness that consumes us. Always hungry, ever present, eternal. Memories of souls trapped in endless cycles of pain and loss. Weakens the barrier, corrupts the energy, brings the void. The Guardians were born to create a barrier against the void. But the task was too great. One by one, they fell to the shadows. In a final effort, they gave their power to create a champion. Will you bring new life, or let the light fade forever?
So many different, varied VR titles on show. As you can see, games for people who just want to relax, people who want shooters, people who want story-based adventures. We are now coming towards the end of the show, and we are now at our final segment. So, from Fast Travel Games, I would like to bring onto the stage Andreas Juliusson and Chris Hatton.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Andreas Juliusson from VR game developer and publisher Fast Travel Games.
My name is Chris Hatton, also known as GT from Gamertag VR over on YouTube.
Cool. How are you doing, GT? Good?
I'm good. I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
I've actually brought my notes out. Just
I see that. So, it's awesome to be here on stage today with all these outstanding VR game developers and to see VR gaming getting a showcase like this at EGX that it really deserves. We have brought 2 new VR game announcements exclusively to the EGX stage theater for you today. And the first title is a title that some of you might already recognize. So have a look at this.
VR Game Spotlight Premiere.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Guardians has been extremely popular on App Lab for quite some time now. And it's our pleasure to announce that we are working with developer VirtualAge Games to bring Guardians to official platforms under a new name. So Guardians Frontline is a sci-fi shooter that gives you single-player, co-op gameplay for up to 4 players, and PvP battles for up to 8 players. Chris,
Yep.
You've been playing quite a lot of Guardians, haven't you?
I have, yeah. So I've been playing the game and following the game since it's been on App Lab. And it kind of reminded me of what a Starship Troopers game in VR would be like, but it's got real-time strategy elements, which add some really cool depth to the game. And it's got a really powerful in-game map editor. And where they've got like an already really strong community, those guys have made some really cool maps, and those maps are being brought to the game with the official map rotation when it launches, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really made with and kind of by the community as well.
Yeah. They've been playtesting it, and yeah, it's good.
So this is still the same game at its core as Guardians has been for some time now. It is, however, getting a visual update and new content added for its launch on Quest 2 and Steam VR early next year. And we have Guardians Frontline playable in the rest area in our booth. So come join us there and try it out for yourselves. You can also win a Quest 2 with the Guardians decal and the actual game as well. So make sure also to follow Fast Travel Games on social media for updates on Guardians Frontline. That was one game. Now, before we announce the second game coming from us at Fast Travel, we have 3 additional upcoming VR games that we are publishing, all present here on the show floor at EGX as well.
Yeah.
So we want to show them to you. First up is Broken Edge by developer Trebuchet. Have a look.
Excellent, yeah, and as it said, it's coming in November. It's a PvP sword fighting game, and it's fun to play, but it's hard to master. So hopefully you can come and check it out over in the EGX Res section after the show.
And beat you.
You can't beat me, no.
You can't beat
me. As long as I take Barbarian, you can't beat me. So.
Yeah, but come try it out, and the same thing with Guardians, you can win some cool prizes. Secondly, we have EVERSLAUGHT Invasion by developer Mobex Games. Have a look.
Nice. So EVERSLAUGHT Invasion is, sorry, I did know what to say, but I was just checking about the release date. It's a co-op game, as you can tell from the footage, and it is coming to Quest 2 exclusively early next year.
Yeah, and this is the first time we let anyone play the game on any show floor as well. I've been told that the developers have added a really cool feature that you can actually drop down from the hub, the airship, down to the arena and fight the monsters.
I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, me neither.
It looks so cool. Yeah.
Third, we have a game called We Are One by developer Flathead Studio. Have a look.
So as it says, it's coming to all major VR platforms, but it's a multiplayer game you play on your own. You play with clones, like using time and stuff. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one coming out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So come check those out in the rest area all weekend, today and starting off until Sunday at 6 p.m. Yeah.
It's time.
I think it's time for
the
next game announcement.
Yeah.
Exclusively here at the EGX Theater. So, the universe is vast and full of wonders. And with that, have a look at this announcement trailer.
VR Game Spotlight Premiere.
It's my way to live. It's my way to die. Can we overcome an ocean filled with stars? The speed of light, catching up to the night. Traveling the speed of sound, catching up to you now. Traveling the speed of sound, catching up to you now.
Who enjoyed that trailer? I think it's an absolutely awesome trailer. That's great.
I keep getting goosebumps.
It's so good. It is so good.
Trailer, yeah. So, Ghost Signal is our next game coming from Fast Travel Games. And it lets you uncover the secrets and wonders of outer space, really. You get to partake in space battles, encounter creatures as big as planets, meet with aliens and befriend or battle different species, get to loot and conduct research and much more. And all this is set in the amazing Stellaris universe. Ghost Signal, a Stellaris game, is a roguelite, which means that no journey with your ship, the Aurora, is in vain, right? So the more you play, the more of the universe you get to explore and uncover, the better your chances are to survive out there. And the closer you get to the source of this mysterious ghost signal that seems to defy even death itself.
Nice.
In addition to that, the game also includes global leaderboards and local leaderboards, daily challenges, and asynchronous multiplayer. So you get to scavenge other players' deserted ships for valuable treasures.
That sounds awesome. So listen, if you like the look of any of these games, please head over to the EGX Res section. You can play them today, and you can win a Quest 2. And yeah, hopefully you make time to do that.
And for those of you who wants to know more about Ghost Signal, make sure to follow @GhostSignalVR starting today, and we'll give you more updates before the game launches early next year on the Quest 2.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we'll just want to wish you a very merry EGX. Hope to see most of you on the show floor. All right?
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Callum Hurley as well. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Thank you so much to Andreas and Chris for bringing us such exciting games. Ghost Signal looks incredible, as does Guardians Frontline and all the games they're showing. If you want to play any of their games, as they said, please do head over to the Resd area. Great gameplay. So that's the end of the show. So thank you so much all for coming today, and thank you for those of you watching live on Twitch. Any of the games you're interested, all of the developers' info was there in those trailers. You can watch this on VOD. And thank you so much for coming. Have a great EGX and have a great weekend.